If Jared Kushner is vice president, if that's not weird enough, here's the one that really is weird. Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago, according to White House official. There it is. That's his blog. He said, President Donald Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago and joined Chabad Lubavitch Synagogue in New York City, according to a high-level White House official. Mr. Goldberg says the story has allegedly been held by CNN's editors for months, but is due to be released within the next few days. David Elias Goldberg, a fellow at the Jewish Center of Anti-Semitic Study, has also interviewed the White House source. According to the source, Trump was pushed by his daughter Ivanka and son-in-law Jared Kushner to join the faith. At first, Trump resisted, stating it would threaten his base of evangelical Christian voters. However, he had a change of heart and officially converted in early 2017. The ceremony was held in private and closely guarded for nearly 2 years. It appears the White House is prepared to slowly release this information, and by summer, it is expected Trump will fully address his new faith in an evening televised news conference. Doc, this is so far out. This is so far out that I can't rule out that it's because he is clearly the most pro-Israel president in the history of America. He's given Israel every single thing that they've wanted, and he's about to give them war with Iran. And so, has he converted?
Well,
I've asked that question about John Hagee, and I'm very serious about it. If I had John Hagee here, I would ask John Hagee, have you converted to Judaism? And I guess we'll find out when John Hagee dies, and we'll see if he gets a Christian burial or a Jewish burial. I think that's when we'll find out. But I have no idea. I'm not saying that John Hagee, that I know for certain, has converted. I'm just saying his behavior and his speech is not Christian anymore.
Right.
It's Jewish. And I have to wonder if John Hagee secretly converted to Judaism.
When it comes back to President Trump here, we have to really do a comparison here. And he's celebrated among the evangelical right, but let's be honest, what has he delivered for the religious right? Do we still have abortion? Do we still have homosexuality? Do we still have all these things going on in our nation? In fact, the other day, President Trump criticized the abortion law in Alabama.
Yes.
A lot of people miss that. They just kind of, don't talk about that.
And
he criticized the same position as Pat Robertson.
And he supports same-sex marriage.
Yes.
Those are Jewish values.
Yes. So if you do a side-by-side comparison, remember back when we were selling, Rick, we did the Ben Franklin clothes.
Right.
All right, you took a piece of paper, you put a line down the middle, and you put the benefits on one side of the one product and the benefits of the other side. You have to ask, all right, for the Christians, what has President Trump delivered? Put it on that left-hand column. For Israel, what has he delivered? Well, I can tell you what he's delivered. He's delivered the Golan Heights. He's delivered the embassy. He's delivered all these different. There's going to be a big deliver with the peace deal.
But Doc, if you ask Christian Zionists, they would say he did deliver. He gave the Christian Zionists everything they dreamed about for Israel. But the Christian Zionists did not use any political clout to stop abortion, to stop same-sex marriage, to ban pornography, to reinstate prayer in school.
None of that has changed. None of that has changed. Not a single one.
Because the Christian Zionists do not care about those issues. They have sold out. They've completely sold out. So I want to show you one more article. This is, let me see if I can.
This is Times of Israel.
Yeah, the Times of Israel. This was published March 22nd, 1999. It is number 11. Yeah, what did I say? March 22nd, 2019. This is the Times of Israel. Trump, the first Jewish president of the United States.
Now, that's not us saying that. That's Times of Israel. Times of what nation? Israel.
So the people in Israel, that's an English-speaking newspaper in Israel, and that's what they read, that Donald Trump is the first Jewish president of the United States.
And how did they qualify that, Rick?
They gave a list of things that he did for Israel.
First of one, of course, moving the embassy to Jerusalem.
That's right.
That was a big deal.
Then recognizing Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. He's the first sitting U.S. president to visit the Western Wall. They gave him credit for defeating ISIS. They gave him credit for rebuking the United Nations when the UN criticized Israel. They credit him with closing the Palestinian office in Washington, D.C. And they said these things, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 things qualify Donald Trump to be named the first Jewish president of the United States.
That's what the Times of Israel said.
Again, that was not David Duke's newsletter.
Right.
It's a Jewish-owned newspaper. And they're proclaiming Donald Trump to be the first Jewish president of the United States. So now when you look at this David Elias Goldberg saying that a White House insider told him that President Trump converted to Judaism 2 years ago.
Suddenly it doesn't sound so crazy, does it?
Now it's not too crazy. And that CNN knows about it, and CNN is sitting on the story and will be releasing it at some point. Okay, so let's just, what if it's true? What if it's true? What does that say to you, Doc?
That says to me there's been such a major shift in values in America. It's no longer Judeo-Christian values anymore. It's Judeo values now.
Yes. Yes.
And what would the impact be if some night this summer, maybe late August, the president has, a special televised event and he's sitting there very serious, very solemn, and says, I want to inform the American people that there's been some major changes in my life. I've observed my family. You remember, of course, Jared and Ivanka, but there's other influences in his family, Jewish influences in his family. And he says that I have made a decision that I am a proponent of the Jewish faith, particularly of the Chabad branch of Judaism. What would that signal to America? Would people care?
Well, the Jewish community would applaud. It would be very difficult for them because most of them hate him. Liberal leftist Jews, that would be very difficult for them. The Christian Zionists, I think, would applaud him.
You do? You
Yes,
think they would
I do.
applaud him?
I do. I believe the Christian Zionists would applaud him. I think John Hagee and Kenneth Copeland and Paula White and all of them, I think they would applaud him. They would say, we embrace his Jewish, his newfound Jewish faith. We embrace it because Israel and America share values.
Right. And that would just be the ultimate, wouldn't it?
Yes. I really think that they would embrace. Now, I think a lot of his supporters are going to take a walk.
I don't know. I think a lot will stick with him.
I'm taking a walk.
Well, I know you would.
Yeah, I'm taking a walk.
But there would be a majority that would stick with him, though. Let's be honest. A majority would stick
Because
with him.
honestly,
They don't care.
the conservatives in America aren't religious anymore.
Right.
They're secular conservatives.
I mean, they allow homosexuality and everything in between. And so it doesn't impact them anymore. Conservatism is not a religious value in America anymore. It's some sort of, it's a religion of the state.
Right.
I mean,
So I don't think it'll be a big deal. Overall, it won't be a big deal.
and then suddenly having your son-in-law, your Jewish son-in-law as
the vice president?
doesn't sound so crazy anymore either, does it?